Finally, we are at the playoffs of the Forge, the low-tier league, and my opponent is Pei. Pei was in the Agron Rock division, so I never had any experience with him or his previous opponents, but if you look at the matchup, there's lots of familiar mons in my current run. I think last match we just had a Mudsdale Decidueye matchup, and I remember there was also a Passimian, which my Weirdeer was able to body. So lots of familiar stuff going on, even that Raichu. So what I'm gonna do is fall back on my tried and true methods versus these mons, and hopefully we get a good win for our quarterfinals match of playoffs. So let's get ahead onto the team already. Before we do that, there's the Terramons are notable threats. Raichu, as always, it can Terra flying and make use of that Lightning Rod ability. And Inteleon, it can just Terra into whatever it wants to fix its garbage coverage problem. So with that in mind, I plan to try to take advantage of all of his mons. So here's what I have. First, we have Weirdeer. This is a weakness policy variant instead of Lumberry. The idea here is to trigger weakness policy from Quillfish Hisui or the Passimian, or even the Decidueye, because thanks to Sap Sipper, I wall both of Decidueye's stabs, and Decidueye doesn't really run anything else except U-turn, so that's a good way to trigger weakness policy. Quillfish Hisui is pretty passive, and if it were to attack, it would have Crunch. That triggers weakness policy. And of course, Passimian has U-turn to trigger weakness policy. It's pretty obvious that Passimian should be coming because of my team of spamming Intimidate. But yeah, Psyshock is to deal the highest damage since it's stab. Earth Power is to deal with Quillfish. At +2, I can one-shot max HP Eviolite Quillfish. But if it has even a little bit of investment, it's gonna start becoming a roll. And then the rest is just coverage. Now we have specially defensive Wo-Chien. This thing is Leech Seed Ruination to put stuff on timers, knock off to help me deal with Eviolite Quillfish, Heavy Duty Boots Altaria, and maybe if I need to, I can knock off. Actually, no, I don't need to. That's about it for knockoff. And then Protect is to stall for Leech Seed and leftovers. With Terra Fairy, I become pretty unkillable. Only the Quillfish can threaten me. But as you can see, I have ways to deal with that. Next, we have physically defensive Gastrodon, and I have Focus Sash because if Calm Mind Florges gets out of hand, I can just spam recover up to full, and then when it triggers my Focus Sash with a Giga Drain or a Moonblast, I can just Miracode it to death. Focus Sash is also meant to counter Terra Grass Raichu and Terra Grass Inteleon, in case they try to snipe me right away. And then everything else is standard. Stealth Rock for hazards and Earth Power to deal with Quillfish. I'm not running Storm Drain, even though there's an Inteleon, because I would need to keep my Sash intact. He has a knockoff user, Passimian. I don't want to lose my Sash to that. This also gives me an easy switch in to Passimian if Wo-Chien hasn't Terra'd yet. So yeah. Next is Electrode. It's a sub-seed set. Discharge, maybe to spread paras. And then lastly, Taunt is to stop Altaria from roosting and defogging. And basically this Electrode becomes a Giga threat with hazards up, as he's gonna be switching a lot, taking hazards damage and leech seed damage, all while being unable to heal because I have Taunt. Soundproof is a nice combo with Substitute, so I'm not sure if he has any sound moves. Oh yes, Perish Song from Altaria, that is an option. And here we have Anger Point Tauros with Scarf. This is gonna be my late game cleaner. It outspeeds K's entire draft, and it even outspeeds the Scarf Pessimian, which is what the Eevees do. And standard 4 attacks. I'm running Anger Point because Inteleon could be the Focus Energy Scope Lens set. So I have lots of things to bait an Ice Beam, like Gastrodon. If he thinks I have Storm Drain, he's gonna Ice Beam. Wo-Chien, if I haven't Terrored, he's gonna Ice Beam. And Electrode because I'm a Grass type. Yeah, just like Wo-Chien. So lots of ways to bait the Focus Energy Ice Beam. I can also just try to trigger Anger Point by switching into random U-turns and crunches. And Leaf Blade too from Decidueye. So I think there's lots of opportunity to get the late game clean. And lastly, we have support Quillfish. You might be wondering what the Mirror Herb is for. Well, that's to also copy the boost from Pastimian's Defiant. So what I want to do is maybe bait a U-turn so that I switch into Quillfish, trigger Defiant, get my +2, and he's forced to switch out because he used U-turn. Hopefully, he won't have much answers to this because I will have priority. So this is another late game cleaning option. So with that in mind, let's go into the battle. So no Mudsdale and no Decidueye, but there is the Pessimian and the Quillfish and the Inteleon and Altaria. Those I prepped for pretty decently, I'd like to think. The Florges might be a problem. Looks very hard to break if I don't get boosted. And Raichu, as always, could be a problem if it terras up and nasty plots. But this looks like a free Gastrodon lead. They don't have any way to one-hit KO me unless the Florges is like Giga Drain and unless he Terra Grasses. So I'm gonna get my rocks up with Gastrodon. As he leads with Pessimian. No problem with that. I can take close combat thanks to my Eevees. Now here I send out Quillfish to start my spiking. But over here I knew he would switch out. Not into Altaria though. I was hoping he would switch out into Quillfish. But oh well. So now I have to switch out. Yeah, a lot of switching here. Altaria reveals the defog. Thankfully it didn't fire spin. So now I leave Seed here to see what he's gonna do. He goes for the Brave Bird, which is an interesting option. And here I begin the Leech Seed spam. This is kind of degenerate gameplay you're about to see, but it's playoffs, so you have to do what you have to do. So what I'm doing here is spamming Sub Seed, and I'm scouting when Pei is gonna use Wish. That way I can reveal Taunt when it matters the most. And plus, when Pei does use Wish, I'll have a substitute unharmed, and I can start firing discharges. And now I can start fishing for paras while also timing my taunts to block the Wish. So that is all I'm doing. I'm trying to get a para, and I'm trying to taunt exactly when Pei wants to Wish. But it's pretty degenerate. I'm just spamming substitute, and barely anything is happening. He uses a Wish early. I think he sees what I'm trying to scout for, but I did get the para, so it doesn't matter if I can't read the wishes yet, because I still got a para out of it. Over here was a misplay. I should have leech seeded here, but I wanted to force progress. Maybe get a para, hopefully. Because I could have just leech seed and started spamming sub again. But with Wish Florges, that kind of dream is a little hard to pull off. But he does use taunt, so my Electrode can't use taunt anymore. Crunch goes off, and there goes my weakness policy. But the second one crits. So you see the first one did 48%, then the next one critted. That was very sad. I did the calc, and apparently uninvested, there was a roll in their favor actually. There was a 71% chance to 2-hit KO, but still, got a low roll, and then he got crit for the next one. That Earth Power would have been really nice. So over here, I start to get up my spikes. Or, no I don't. I think I was predicting a switch, because he would want a defog, but guess not. He wanted to taunt. So I made a few misplays here, as you can tell, since I can't even remember what I did here. Altaria has Roost. This could be a little difficult. Floor just comes out. And now I should try to get my hazards, right? Yes, there we go. Assuming comes out, but it can't do much except Earthquake. I should have scouted for that Earthquake, but now at least I have Leech Seed. And now I can do Taunt. So once again, the degeneracy of Leech sub-seeding begins. Thankfully, Volt Switch doesn't break my sub, but it still poses a problem as he can attack and remove Leech Seed at the same time. So this is some more sub-seeding. I am reading the switches, so I could have taunted that, but I'm reading the switches. And sometimes I don't get the read correct. That Volt Switch breaking my sub was very unfortunate. Now he reveals the Terra Blast, and there's the Terra flying. I thankfully live, but Rock Slide misses, which is very sad. And now they get the defog. But you know, with Wochian out, I just spam some more Leech Seed. Yeah, this is a really, really quality gameplay. I'm just spamming Leech Seed, but I can't keep spamming it. As you see, the Quillfish does have Toxic. So whenever a Quillfish comes out, something is getting toxic. So the plan now has to be destroy the Quillfish or kill everything before the Quillfish can toxic everything. Which is a very tall order. I need to get rid of this Gorgeous because it keeps passing wishes. The Pei is doing a very good job of keeping Florges healthy and dodging my taunts. So now I'm at the back foot. I'm doing whatever I can to stay in this playoffs. Fish for a para, I get it. Read the switch with Leech Seed, I get it. Try to do degenerate tactics. Over here, I didn't want Wo-Chien to get toxic. That's why I had to switch out. I didn't want Tauros to get toxic because it could still win this, funnily enough. So now that Clofish is almost dead, thanks to rocks, all I have to do is hit it once on the switch into Wish. But preferably without Wo-Chien in front of the field. But now it was impossible because rocks were gone. So that Clofish was getting healed no matter what. And Wo-Chien is toxic, so now I have no hope. I can go for a rock slide flinching spree though. That is definitely on the table. Oh, but spikes. Yeah. So, yep. I'm sorry. I lost in the playoffs in the first round, the quarterfinals. And I was just spamming Leech Seed. The Florges really caught me off guard. I was not prepped well for it. It just kept hashing wishes. I thought that taunt would solve the problem, but they had lots of good pivot moves to deal with the Leech Seed plus taunt combo. So, yeah, I'm out of the low tier league. I finished as a quarterfinalist. I have another draft league coming up to show you. But all in all, I'm really happy with this run. My team went 4-4, which is pretty crazy. I didn't think that kind of record could make it to playoffs, but hey, Mono Intimidate does work. That is the lesson of this league. So yeah,